Behind the dazzling sparkle of royal diamonds lies a hidden language that has shaped global history. These aren't just accessories. They are silent weapons used to signal alliances and orchestrate power plays from the shadows. Queen Elizabeth II understood this perfectly. Over her reign, she received hundreds of brooches as official state gifts. Most gathered dust in the vaults. We're decoding 5 iconic brooches to reveal the secret messages that changed the course of international diplomacy. These are the brooches that speak when words would fail. 1947, Southern Rhodesia, now Zimbabwe. Queen Elizabeth II toured Africa with her parents. She celebrated her 21st birthday, made her famous whole life devoted to service speech, and received a gift that would define her reign. 42,000 school children across southern Rhodesia each donated 3 pence. Their pocket money, pennies from children who wanted to give their future queen something meaningful. The commission went to designers in Salisbury, now Harare. Len Bell designed it. Eric H.S. Kippin, who trained at Cartier, constructed it, working in Johannesburg, using diamonds sourced from De Beers, set by H. Michel. The result? A platinum brooch in the shape of the flame lily, Gloriosa superba, the national flower, 301 diamonds, delicate, precise, unmistakably African. April 7th, 1947. 6 local children officially presented it to Princess Elizabeth at Government House during a reception. She loved it immediately, but it became iconic 5 years later. February 1952. Princess Elizabeth was in Kenya, part of a Commonwealth tour. Her father, King George VI, died suddenly. The tour ended. She flew home. When the new Queen Elizabeth II stepped off that plane at London Airport, the world watched. Black mourning coat, sombre expression, and pinned to her left shoulder, the flame lily brooch. Her first appearance as monarch, the first jewel she chose to wear, a gift from African children. The message was instant, visible. The Commonwealth mattered. For 70 years, she wore it constantly. Funerals. The brooch was ideal on black coats, Christmas broadcasts, 1967, 1976, state occasions, Commonwealth events, garden parties. The children who gave 3 pence in 1947 watched their queen wear their gift for her entire reign. In 2002, when the Queen Mother died, Elizabeth inherited her mother's nearly identical flame lily brooch. 2 brooches, same design, both from Rhodesian tours. Estimated value today, over £20,000, conservative. But the diplomatic value, immeasurable. Every time Queen Elizabeth II wore the flame lily, she acknowledged Zimbabwe, Rhodesia, the complicated, painful history of colonialism and independence. She wore it even after Zimbabwe left the Commonwealth in 2003. Even during political tensions, even when relationships soured, the brooch said, "I remember the children, I honour the gift." History doesn't disappear. That soft power in 301 diamonds. 1939. London. King George VI and Queen Elizabeth prepared for their first royal tour of Canada. The king wanted to give his wife something special, something Canadian, something she could wear throughout the month-long tour. He commissioned Asprey and Company, historic London jewellers with established royal connections. The brief was simple. Create a maple leaf in diamonds and platinum. Asprey delivered a large statement piece, 5 centimetres by 5.5 centimetres. The maple leaf is rendered in brilliant cut and baguette cut diamonds, set in platinum. The stem formed by baguette diamonds, The veins of the leaf are precisely articulated. May 1939. The King and Queen crossed the Atlantic. Queen Elizabeth wore the brooch publicly for the first time aboard ship. Throughout that tour, the maple leaf brooch appeared constantly. Arrival ceremonies, state dinners, public walkabouts. For the next 6 years, the Queen Mother wore that brooch everywhere, not just for Canada-related events. The maple leaf became a symbol of Allied cooperation. Britain and Canada united. Fast forward to 1951. The Queen Mother loaned the brooch to her daughter, Princess Elizabeth, for her first Canadian tour. The only time she loaned it during her lifetime. When the Queen Mother died in March 2002, Queen Elizabeth II inherited it. Since then, strategic deployment, Canada Day celebrations on Parliament Hill in Ottawa, July 1st, 2010. Queen Elizabeth II wore red and white. The brooch sparkled on her lapel. Audiences with Canadian Prime Ministers, Justin Trudeau, multiple occasions, visits to Canada House in London, and here's where diplomacy becomes visible. Queen Elizabeth II didn't just wear it herself, she loaned it. November 2009, the Duchess of Cornwall's first official Canadian visit. Camilla wore the maple leaf brooch for the welcome ceremony in St. John's. July 2011, the Duke and Duchess of Cambridge's first tour. Princess Catherine wore it 3 times. Arrival, Canada Day, departure from Calgary. September 2016, William and Kate returned. Kate wore it again. Arrival in Victoria. Reception at Government House. Departure. The pattern is clear. Each new generation of royals. First Canadian tour. The maple leaf brooch. It's initiation. It's recognition. It's saying, we respect this relationship enough to loan our most symbolic Canadian jewel. In May 2025, Queen Camilla wore it for her first visit to Canada as Queen. 4 generations, 86 years of diplomatic messaging. It's a promise that Canada would never be an afterthought and a visible pledge of allegiance. 1954, Queen Elizabeth II's coronation tour of Australia. The first visit by a reigning monarch. Historic, significant, requiring an equally significant gift. The Australian government decided on a brooch. Something uniquely Australian, native flora, precious gems. The prestigious commission went to William Drummond and Company Limited of Melbourne. The designer, Paul Charles Schneller, Hungarian-born, arrived in Australia in 1950, trained at Cartier in Paris. His design was spectacular, a spray combining 3 Australian botanicals, golden wattle, acacia pycnantha, the national flower, represented in pale and deep yellow diamonds, Australian tea trees blossom, Leptospermum laevigatum, 3 large 5-carat brilliant white diamonds forming the centre of each blossom, surrounded by smaller white diamonds, and mimosa, rendered in blue-white baguette diamonds, all set in platinum, approximately 150 diamonds total, 9 centimetres long, 4.5 centimetres wide. The brooch could be worn either way up, versatile, sculptural. February 16, 1954. Prime Minister Robert Menzies presented it to Queen Elizabeth II at a state banquet in Parliament House, Canberra. The completed brooch had been flown from Melbourne to Canberra, sewn inside the jacket pocket of one of Drummond's employees. Security through obscurity. Elizabeth wore it publicly the next day, February 17th. A gathering of thousands of ex-servicemen and women outside Parliament House. The Daily Telegraph reported the brooch glittered in the sunshine on the left shoulder of the Queen's emerald paper shantung frock. For the next 68 years, it became her Australian signature, the 1963 Australian tour, the Captain Cook Bicentenary Tour in 1970, worn at Randwick Racecourse in Sydney, the Sydney Opera House opening in 2000, arrivals in Canberra in 2006, 2011, But Queen Elizabeth II also wore it for non-Australian occasions. Christmas broadcasts, 1967, 1976, Chelsea Flower Show, Royal Ascot, her 60th birthday in 1986, most notably, the wedding of Prince Charles and Camilla in 2005. Unlike the maple leaf and silver fern, Elizabeth never loaned the Wattle brooch to family members during her lifetime. Too personal, too significant, too Australian. October 2024, King Charles and Queen Camilla's first visit to Australia as King and Queen. Camilla wore the Wattle brooch for the arrival in Sydney. She had previously worn it for her official portrait as Queen of Australia, released July 2024. Same blue dress, same brooch, then repeated the ensemble for the Sydney arrival. The portrait was projected onto the Sydney Opera House, larger than life. One brooch, 70 years, 2 queens, countless diplomatic messages. It shows Australia is woven into their identity, not just their itinerary. All designed by a Hungarian refugee who found his home in Melbourne, July 2012. Singapore's Ministry of Foreign Affairs. An official purchased a gold filigree brooch for 6,800 Singapore dollars, about $4,900. The piece, designed and crafted by Thomas Kwan. Foundation Jewellers, a Singapore atelier specialising in traditional Peranakan jewellery. Peranakan style, a fusion of Chinese, Malay and Indo-European aesthetics, dating back to the 1880s. Kwan's design depicted a bird of paradise, intricate, delicate, dancing lines conveying lilting Asiatic beauty, 18-carat yellow gold, 61 brilliant cut diamonds. The craftsmanship is exacting. First, draw the design on translucent paper using a Chinese brush. Only this tool captures the curves and smooth edges properly. Pierce out the overall design with a jeweller's saw. Punch and hammer to create 3-dimensional depth. Select complementary diamonds. Right colour, right cut, right clarity, right size. Set the mesure into the gold, a method similar to pavé setting. The result? A delicate medallion, 7.3 centimetres, intricate filigree, glittering with diamonds. In 2012, President Tony Tan presented it to Queen Elizabeth II, a Diamond Jubilee gift, on behalf of the Singapore government. The palace called it the Singapore Shield brooch. Foundation jewellers called it the Bird of Paradise pendant and brooch. Either way, something extraordinary happened. Queen Elizabeth II loved it. Most official state gifts get worn once, maybe twice, for occasions directly related to their provenance. This brooch? Queen Elizabeth II wore it constantly. Princess Charlotte's christening in July 2015, multiple occasions in January 2020, the official opening of London Rail's Elizabeth line in May 2022, her last major public appearance before she died. President Tony Tan's state visit to the UK in 2014. Appropriate. Why? The design, intricate but not overwhelming, gold and diamonds, versatile, worked with virtually any colour coat. One Singapore brooch, designed by a local artisan, became a favourite of the Queen of England, and every time she wore it, Singapore's soft power radiated globally, a tiny island nation, making its mark, being recognised, being honoured, all through 61 diamonds and intricate gold filigree, and the diplomatic value is incalculable. The brooch broadcasts that Singapore matters not for its size or wealth, but for its artistry, its culture, its contribution, and represents genuine appreciation to Singapore. Christmas Day, 1953. Government House, Auckland. Queen Elizabeth II's first visit to New Zealand, the first visit by any reigning monarch. Lady Annie Allam, wife of Mayor Sir John Allam, presented a gift. On behalf of the women of Auckland, a brooch, platinum and diamonds, in the shape of a silver fern frond, Cyathea dealbata, one of New Zealand's most important national emblems. The design is precise, 7.3 centimetres tall, 3 centimetres wide. The stem runs through the centre, curving slightly, set with baguette diamonds. The fronds branch outward. Brilliant cut diamonds, encased in jagged borders of platinum. Depth, intricacy. The fern almost appears three-dimensional. Lady Allam chaired the committee of women's organisations responsible for raising the £800 needed. They worked in secret. The Governor-General specifically requested no publicity before the presentation. The Auckland Star reported December 11th, 1953. Brooch for Queen is so hush-hush. Surplus funds were donated to Westminster Abbey to repair wartime damage. The Queen was delighted. Queen Elizabeth II's particular pleasure with this gift. That very day, December 25th, she wore it. St Mary's Cathedral in Auckland, Christmas service. The silver fern glittered on her coat. For the next 69 years, the brooch appeared at New Zealand events, hosting the All Blacks rugby team at Buckingham Palace, November 2002. And Queen Elizabeth II loaned it, strategically, April 2014. The Duke and Duchess of Cambridge toured New Zealand with baby Prince George. Princess Catherine wore the silver fern brooch multiple times. During the tour, Prince William and Princess Catherine unveiled an official portrait of Queen Elizabeth II, painted by Nick Cuthell. In the portrait, Elizabeth wears the silver fern brooch. At the reception where the portrait debuted, Princess Catherine wore a gown with silver fern fronds embroidered on one shoulder. Brooch, portrait, dress, all coordinated. That's not an accident. That's diplomatic choreography. One brooch, multiple generations, continuous recognition. New Zealand matters. We remember. We honour the relationship. And that's New Zealand being told. You're embedded in our future, not just our past. All in platinum and diamonds. Queen Elizabeth II received hundreds of official state gifts throughout her reign. Most went to the vaults, worn once, maybe never, but these became her diplomatic arsenal. She deployed them strategically, wore them repeatedly. This is soft power at its finest. No speeches required, no formal declarations, no treaties signed. Just a brooch that speaks to millions. Subscribe for more deep dives into royal jewellery that stays hidden in the vaults. And drop a comment. Which piece do you like most? Thanks for watching. See you next time.